YouTubers, family, and friends. I'm back in the Philippines. So, yeah, I'm back at home now in northwestern Mindanao in the Philippines at my home here and back with my family from the US. And oh, it was a 2 month trip there in the US between Nevada and Minnesota is where my family was, and got a lot of good visiting in and a lot of catching up from the 6 years I'd been away from family and friends, and didn't accomplish everything I wanted to accomplish, but a lot of it I did. Uh, Still working on Social Security. I did get my first check here the other day. That was probably the biggest thing that affects my family is my Social Security benefits. But the first check I got only was my check. I did not include the benefits of my wife and my minor child yet. So I don't know if I have to wait another uh, for till my next November direct deposit before theirs shows up or what. If theirs doesn't show up next month, then I need to start investigating and calling agents at the Social Security Administration again. Everything is more difficult now, of course, because of the government shutdown, which a lot of people are thinking that this government shutdown is by design. Obviously, at this point, right, the Republicans aren't budging and the Democrats aren't budging on what they want to accomplish as far as Social Security or as far as the whole government is concerned. It's like it's on purposely happening in a concerted cooperation effort to change something major with the government, uh, because the debt is the highest it's ever been in the history of the U.S. Uh, and things just can't continue the way they're going. So the whole entire world is under a threat right now of nuclear annihilation between the BRICS countries and the West, and that continues to get worse by the day. There's lots of biblical prophecy involved with that. Uh, I mean, obviously, there's all kinds of theologians and Bible prophecy gurus, and you just never know for sure. Only God knows the truth about the timing of all that stuff. But there's lots and lots of evidence showing that there's major upheaval coming. And you also got in the mix of that, you know, the Charlie Kirk assassination is still ongoing, and the government narrative or explanation for that is filled full of holes. Lots of deception going on there, just as usual. Anything involving the U.S. government, the deception and the uh, ineptness, and it's like they're always baffled, baffled on purpose is so for deception mostly, but there's oh, a lot of things that are not going right with all governments really. But anyways, at this point, all bets are off, right? I mean, we could have nuclear war tomorrow. We could have a massive stock market collapse tomorrow. We got hyperinflation. We got a melt up in the markets. We have, including gold and silver. When gold and silver occurs like this, throughout history, when you get this huge, massive ramp up, there's always something going on behind the scenes. Uh, Bank bailouts, you name it, there's something being changed in the background that most of us have no idea about. So, pretty much hold on to your hats. You're basically responsible for your own self and your own family. So, have lots of food stocks. ammunition, protection, the best that you possibly can. Get into a remote situation or have a bug out plan that's away from the cities. You don't want to be near any major population centers. You want to do the best you can to, have options of what to do when basically the shit hits the fan, because the time of turmoil is very, very near. It's been getting worse. Everyone can see the turmoil getting worse. And basically, because the U.S. is the center of power for the world, and the West has been the world reserve currency in the U.S. dollar for ever since Bretton Woods, which is right after World War II, when the West beat Germany and the war was over. The world system decided upon the U.S. dollar being the world reserve currency. So obviously all the power, majority of the power of the world resides in the U.S. Well, the stuff that's coming out right now on Tucker Carlson, if you guys don't watch Tucker Carlson, you're missing out on lots and lots of truth. Tucker Carlson just released a 5-episode series about the 9/11 attacks and all the lies and deception from, you just watch the videos. You'll be blown away. And I knew about this stuff a long time ago. Basically, the day it happened, in my gut and in my spirit, I knew it was a lie. I knew there was way more going on than what was being told. So there's lots of people in the world that are called normies, that believe the narrative that the government pushes out onto the people, and that they always believe that. And all you got to do is think critically and look at the evidence. There's no conspiracy theory as far as, always against the government, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not what it's about. It's about look at the facts, look at the evidence, look at every single thing that's happened. And on a general note, you know that people in power are going to keep stuff secret or keep lies or red herrings happening so people don't understand really what's going on, because they don't look at us as an equal. They look at the people as lemmings or cattle or chattel or sheeple. We rarely ever get the truth. Always keep that in mind. So the only way that you're going to be able to get around that, guys, is to stop that kind of tyrannical government whatever country you're in the world, is to get remote, don't do what they say, and to care for your own, which is find a community that's like-minded thinking, and have your food stocks, save your money in gold and silver and any other form that you think is necessary to get you through hard times, because there's massive hard times right now, and it's going to be 100 times worse than that if there's a nuclear exchange. So just keep all that stuff in mind, guys, and then in the meantime, just be ready for it, and keep building your stocks up, keep preparing yourself to be self-sufficient. And that's what I've done here in the Philippines. Right now we've just the last couple days, because it's starting in the rainy season now, so we're getting rid of all the water, pumping all the water out of the pool, and then that'll be like that until maybe last week in March, and then we'll fill the pool back up again. Because it's during the rainy season, you just can't keep it, you can't put enough chlorine in it or for it to remain nice. It's just the rain here, we get, even these last 3, 4, 5 weeks, we've been getting so much rain. Almost every day we've been getting between 1 and 3 inches a day, sometimes more, and that's what you get when you're in a tropical jungle. A lot of days you'll get several inches per day, and it's kind of unheard of where most people live, but in the jungle, that's normal. So, anyways, as far as the personal stuff that's happened, my family's healthy. I got home, and it was wonderful greeting my family again, my wife and children. One's health is great. Uh, so that's wonderful. That's a big blessing from God that I'm really thankful for and grateful for. And I'm only dealing with a little bit of this Social Security now. That's should be able to hopefully work itself out within the next month or two. Like I say, we got a little bit of relief because they did send me after 2.5 weeks after I was supposed to get my first check. I was able to get a hold of an agent in Manila, FBU, Federal Benefits Unit, in Manila Embassy in the Philippines, because that's where they held my application, because I filled out my application overseas. So when you do that, I just found out from this agent she was very knowledgeable and clued me into a lot of things that happens with Social Security. One of the biggest ones that I found out from her was that if you fill out your application anywhere overseas, having an overseas address, every single application goes to Baltimore, Maryland. That's your main overseas office in the United States. So after you submit it, your application from online, it goes directly to Baltimore, Maryland. They check it out, then they send it back to the closest FBU, Federal Benefits Unit, from your location that you put down in your application. Well, my address here is in Mindanao, one of the furthest islands south of Manila, that's where your U.S. Embassy is in Manila, in the capital city of the Philippines. So Baltimore sends it back to the Philippines. Then they're supposed to notify you that you need to go with documentation to the FBU, Federal Benefits Unit, in the U.S. Embassy in Manila, with all your documentation to prove everything that's on your application, right? And they did not do that with me. They did not give me any notice that I was supposed to go to the U.S. Embassy in Manila. They never did, not once. So that's the standard operating procedure, that once you submit your application from any overseas location, goes to Baltimore. Baltimore sends it back to your closest Federal Benefits Unit, which in the Philippines, it's Manila Embassy. So you have to then get all your documentation and go then, because I have my Filipino wife that's going to be the caregiver to my minor child, because she's the mother of my minor child. So I go there, and I'm supposed to present her Social Security number, her green card, and if she is a U.S. citizen, which she's not, and my son's passport and consular report on birth abroad, all that stuff that I did present to agents in Las Vegas. I did all that, and they took all the notes and all the copies of all my documentation and attached it to my application, but they can't process it there because it was stuck in Manila from Baltimore, right? Even though I live part of the year in Las Vegas, and that's my U.S. home, it didn't matter. I made an appointment there in Las Vegas. I went in, I gave them all my documentation, everything, but it didn't matter. They could not process my application from there because it was still stuck in the U.S. Embassy in Manila. So you know, and I have no idea. I've never applied for Social Security before, and everything that I've ever read is that you can go to a Social Security office and get this stuff taken care of. Well, that's not the case. It's once Baltimore sends it to Manila, only Manila agents can send it then back to Baltimore for payment processing. So what I eventually found out after going to 3 different Social Security offices in the U.S., went one in St. George, Utah, one in Las Vegas, Nevada, and one in Hibbing, Minnesota. Those are the 3 offices I actually physically went into trying to get my application process moved on for payment before my first payment was supposed to be paid to me. But they couldn't do anything, and most of them didn't give you any information of really why and really what the process was. Because honestly, I don't think most of the agents even have a clue. They just say, oh yeah, it's a mess if you are overseas, blah, blah, blah. They don't explain the process at all because they probably don't know, because they don't really care. That's really the impression that I got upon myself, that yes, they're trying to be helpful to you in a certain way, but they don't know the Social Security process and how the system even works. They haven't never tasked themselves or been trained properly to even know. And that's government for you guys. Everything falls through the cracks, and your most experienced veterans retire, and the new people coming in and were never properly trained, and they don't have a clue really what's going on, guys. That's half the problem with, at least with the Social Security system that I've seen. So finally, when I started to figure this kind of stuff out on my own, I finally, from Las Vegas, called the U.S. Embassy, which cost me $200 on my phone, which I didn't think it was going to, but it did, because they only have hardline at the FBU in the U.S. Embassy in Manila, only a hardline phone. Well, I'm on my cell phone, right? So I call several times. I got hung up on twice by agents in Manila. Finally, I got a hold of it was an American-speaking woman that was the most knowledgeable agent from the Social Security that I have ever talked with, and I've talked with over 20 agents in the last 4 or 5 months. And she knew what she was talking about. She's the one that explained to me that every single address from an online application, if you put down that's your address from any country in the entire world other than the U.S., all foreign applications go directly to Baltimore. Then they send it back to the closest location to where your address is, and then you are supposed to go into that location with all your documentation, prove who you are, try to get all your benefits squared around, and then they send it back to Baltimore for payment processing. That's how the system works. Well, totally by trial and error, guys, is how I got this all figured out. So anyways, I talked with her on the phone about my family, everything, and she sent it then from Manila. She sent my application to Baltimore for processing. Also, she attached what's called a dire need, because this was a couple weeks after my, actually it was within a day of when I was supposed to get paid. October 8th I was supposed to get paid. I think I talked with her on the phone October 7th or October 9th, something like that. And so she attached a dire need to it, and actually I got paid on October 20th. Only my benefits though, not my family's benefits. So I tried to create an account last night for my wife and child online with the Social Security department, or like mysocialsecurity.com at ssa.gov. I tried to create accounts according to their Social Security numbers, and it was a disaster mess of having to verify their identities, and I was trying to take photos of their passports and all this stuff, trying to get it through to create the account. And it was a disaster online, and it was so late at night because you have to do everything at night here because, you know, it's 12 to 15 hours difference in time. So anyways, finally I was frustrated and just gave up and went to bed last night. But so I really don't know about the benefits of my wife and my minor child until I get my next payment in November. Also, I was able to get into my Social Security on .com online on my account, and it said, okay, you get $2,572 every month, and you get paid on the 4th of every month. Well, that doesn't make any sense to me because my disabled son has been getting payments on the first or second Wednesday of every month, but he's under a different department of disability. So I don't know. Usually they never pay the very first Wednesday of the month, but maybe they're going to, and maybe that's what the 4th of every month means, that I'm going to get paid the first Wednesday no matter what of every month. I don't know. That's just what it said on my attached to what my benefit amount was going to be on my account. So at this point, I just have to wait until my November payment to see what I'm going to get, and then see if my family's been attached to that. And if not, then that means I have to call on the phone to agents and find out what's going on as far as the benefits of my minor child, which I already entered all his counselor on birth abroad and his Social Security number and his passport. All that's been verified for him. So we're going to see here in another couple weeks. I'll know. So I'll keep you guys updated on how that's going. So anyways, I hope you got some knowledge here of what happened to me, and me sharing that knowledge with you guys about the Social Security system as far as your overseas and how the benefits, how the online application, how everything actually works. Which, like I say, over 20 some agents I've talked with, and I've never heard that until I finally got a hold of one knowledgeable person in the Social Security system. And yeah, it's just crazy. And with the government shutdown, there's lots of chatter right now that if the government stays shut down into November, that all the WIC and SNAP programs and EBT card welfare program and all your food stamp programs, that's all gonna permanently end. Well, some people say it might temporarily end until the government opens back up, but Trump and those guys are saying this stuff's gonna get cut permanently. Wow, if that happens, you got like over 40 million U.S. citizens on these food stamp and WIC and SNAP programs and EBT welfare. Over 40 million people are going to rise up and have massive riots if that happens here in a couple weeks, guys. So hold on to your hats and stay out of the big cities, because it's going to be hell on earth if you get 40 million people pissed off at the government, start burning government buildings, and who knows what they're capable of when people are been so used to living on the dole, the government dole, for free for years and years and years, and then all of a sudden it's cut off. So good luck. So I'm happy I'm actually in the Philippines right now and away from that possible massive rioting situation going to happen. So you guys need to prepare yourself for that. What else? You got this also concern about this 3I Atlas. Well, some people are saying it's a comet or meteor, whatever. But it's 3I means it's the third interstellar object that has ever been recorded entering from deep space into our solar system. That's what the 3I stands for. And Atlas was just the name of the observatory or the name of the satellite or whatever that found this interstellar object coming into our solar system. Well, some people are saying it's hollow and it's a it's some kind of a alien craft, and then others are saying it's just kind of some kind of a weird comet, and I mean there's all kinds of speculation, but they're saying that the actual speed of this thing has been reducing as it's coming into our solar system. So if that's all true, which who knows online what you're going to find as far as truth these days, guys, you got to take everything with a grain of salt, lots of grains of salt. So just keep in mind, and there's another reason to stock up and have a bug out plan and blah, 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 get away from major population centers. All these reasons are coming up here fast, guys. So just be aware and be vigilant and watch what's going on. And all of a sudden, if we get some massive crap going on, nuclear exchange, alien invasion, you name it, right? This stuff's all on the table now. We live in a crazy time. Just be aware that if all your internet goes down, start implementing your plans, because who knows how long the internet's going to be down, guys. And a lot of the biblical prophecies are saying if this kind of massive stuff happens where your internet goes down, there's a massive nuclear exchange, or we're in a war with alien beings or whatever, that this 3 days of darkness is going to happen, which I think it's biblical. It references to the book of Exodus about how it happened in Egypt when Moses was taking the Israeli people, the Hebrew people, out of bondage in Egypt, and it all references to that, guys. And if that happens, you need to go inside your homes with food and candles, because there won't be anything, no electricity, nothing, at least 3 days, and outside there'll be a massive release of demons and all this other stuff. So just stay away from your doors and windows and stay inside until the sun comes back out, or the whatever the dust that's shrouding the entire atmosphere of the world clears back up. And this could be from this 3i Atlas too, guys. It could cause an event in the solar system that puts this massive dust cloud around the Earth, so it's dark for several days. We don't know, guys. This stuff's all new. Like I say, it's only the third time that these deep space interstellar bodies of whatever it is coming into this solar system. So it's a very, and three is a number of God, guys. 3. So, and that's my lucky number, 3. So something's going on with this stuff. So just be careful. And it's already way too long on this video. I'm sorry it got so long, and I'm digressing into all kinds of things, but I love you guys with all my heart. Stay diligent, and God bless you all, and be repentful for and grateful for what God has given us. So I love you guys. Take care, and goodbye for now. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.